Hi, it's Katie Seriani Bull, and I'm back with Katie Stories number 57. It's the day after the election, and I'm very tired. And yeah, I don't want to say I told you so, but what did I say on my last video? Yeah, I called it, right? I knew he was going to win. I'm just grateful. I always try, after I get through all the crap of being angry, shocked, sad, mad, then, right, you got to tap your way into the positive. And how I look at it is he did not get the majority, yay. And actually, I think the shuffle might even not be as good. And so I'm just going to stay hopeful. What I do know, though, is just looking at how things are going, looking at Australia, they're finally standing up. And boy, do they have a big fight on their hands. I'm sending out a message. Last story I did, I was saying, yay, like I applaud people who get that something's not right, that have been doing their homework, following the money, and just getting their hands on all kinds of resources that aren't mainstream media because they're not telling the truth. They're completely compromised. Even people who kind of don't quite see what's going on with this whole planned thing, they know that something's just not quite right. Sorry, there's a wasp. He came around here before. He wants to be in the story. So yeah, if you know, like I talk to some people that know, and they say, you know what, I know everything. I get where you're going, but I don't want to go there. And I just want to stay positive. And I don't want to think about things like that. Okay. And I think, well, do you really know? Because if you really knew that we're down to like this last window of freedom before there's never a normal again, you wouldn't just stick your head in the sand about it. I think you really would fight. If not for yourself, for your kids and their kids, just all future generations. For yourself with retirement coming, or if you're in in your mid-20s, 30s, just all of the dreams you have and want to do. So I wanted to put out this video about the art of not giving $2 what people think of you. Okay? It's scary, especially we've been conditioned this way to really care, like what the mainstream is doing, like the bulk of us. It's a social norm. And there's many social norms, I mean, that we follow that are pretty agreeable by everybody. But then there's also where there comes a time where I find more and more that as the media pushes everything, that this is the narrative we're supposed to go with, and if you don't agree, you're weird or somehow don't fit, or there's something wrong with you, and you become this black sheep. And it's interesting, I've been watching a lot of Jordan Peterson. He's a Canadian. He's a psychologist. He's been really involved in climate change. He has a couple of doctorates. Like, he's on all kinds of talk shows. He even weighed in, like when our government was looking at passing Bill 16 about pronouns. Her, him, they, them. Because he was looking at it like on a freedom of speech level, not because he didn't have compassion or care about people who had uniqueness to their gender, and we're looking for a way to express that. But I'm bringing this up because, I see my daughter in university, and a lot of this woke stuff. It's very from the left, the extreme left. And it was great while it was all just about inclusion and rainbow sidewalks and loving one another and including people. That was awesome. But where it's gone now, and I've said this in many stories, so I won't keep paddling on, just about it's like I said to my daughter, okay, they're trying to come up with this term in the States, and they're going to push it through the universities, and then it'll trickle down into the schools. Luckily, I won't be working in them. I'm done next week. Hey. But birthing person, or as they're calling it now, menstruating person. And my daughter said, well, that's stupid. And I said, yeah, it's stupid now, but wait till your instructor's pushing it down your throat in 8 months. And where you feel suddenly like you're not included in with your classmates if you don't go along with that area of thinking. Because I find sometimes while I can have really big open conversations with my daughter when it comes to the whole left woke stuff, she gets really uncomfortable and wants to shut it down. And what I feel, and I'm coming back, I'm saying this not to talk negative about my baby, because she's freaking amazing. Like, she's honestly the most amazing human I know on this planet. She's very patient. She's incredible. It's not easy having a mom like me. But what I'm getting at is we got to be really careful not to lose that ability to say our truth and say what we feel, and feel that we're going to be punished or ostracized if we don't agree with others' narratives or the mainstream narrative. It's not necessarily always right. And the biggest way to not give two fucks what people think of you is to love yourself. Radically love yourself. Okay, and I've talked about this lots, but how do you do that? Well, that's easier said than done, right? And it's taken me years, so it's not like some, magic pill. But to love yourself, you have to have compassion for yourself, right? So you make mistakes. It's being aware and awareness, and it's all day long. And to make that even more complicated, but I don't want to make it complicated, is for me a trust. Whether it's a higher power, universe, God, Jesus, the angels, whatever you aspire to give you some kind of faith and trust that if there's dark forces in this world and there's evil, then there's a dual-edged sword here. You can't have one without the other. So think about that. If there are people that are dark and they worship a dark force, for monetary gain and power, then who are they fighting against, right? So a lot of people talk that this is end times. And interesting, I just glanced at the clock, and it was at 7:47, and that is when my mom passed away, right? April 7th, 07. And so I see that a lot, and I see she's agreeing with me, and I know I needed to do this story. So, okay, so getting back to how you love yourself is, one quote that always really resonated with me was, it's none of my business what others think of me. And so, start by practicing in small ways, just when you want to do something or you don't want to do something, or when everyone's kind of agreeing on a topic and it's really tempting just to go along and fit in and be comfortable, right? No one wants or enjoys having someone mad at them or leaving them out because they pose a problem with their truth in a group setting or among people. I mean, we don't go looking for that. And you want to be your best self and speak your truth, but not being a douchebag about it, right? You still have to integrate tact, sensibility, be kind. On the polar opposite to that, though, don't worry so much about other people's feelings. I mean, be courteous, be tactful, be kind, but you're not responsible for how people feel about what's coming from your truth, your narrative. And if you stay present and aware and connected every moment of the day, every chance you can to breathe and get back to who you are and your true feelings on something, then you'll also leave room to learn that sometimes we are wrong. Sometimes a truth that we're really staunchly holding on to, once we've really kind of looked at our ego and reactions and triggers that arise around it, we'll realize that there was more to learn, that we didn't quite have the full picture. but forgive yourself. Have compassion. That's how we learn. So what else can I tell you? I made some notes because I always think I just have everything. I think about these things while I'm brushing my teeth, and then when I'm done the story, I'm like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot that. So I've told you that, just staying on our truth when it's not popular. And yeah, that's what I was going to get at. Get used to spending time alone. I mean it, and not on your phone. Like, get used to sitting in front of the fire by yourself, going for a walk. Get used to just sitting and doing nothing, just being still, just lying there, but not sleeping. And watching your thoughts just roll by like a screen, like you're just watching a screen, so that you can see them and not judge them. And if you catch yourself judging them, to kind of notice that too. The more you practice and become aware and still and grounded, to me, that is like you're in touch. God is flowing through you, and you can connect and have compassion for other people that don't see the things the way. And as you don't accept others' abuse or attacks, or even where they're ignoring you and maybe leaving you out, trying to teach you a lesson, because, well, how dare you think out of the box differently. So some people will go about trying to leave you out until you get with their program. And so if you're really strong in yourself, you'll be okay with that. And you can be okay with it without being angry or passive aggressive, and just carry on. And, while I'm always out there on Facebook or on here telling my side of the story, telling my truth, there is a part of me that knows and that helps me stay calm and centered and sane in knowing that I don't have to tell my story all the time, that time will. And if what we are going through is a truly a spiritual awakening on this planet, there's so much. If you just watch your mainstream news, and please expand yourself, start looking at Forbes, start looking at National Post, just other political writers. Just look around the world at YouTube and start watching some of your friends. Start watching what they're watching, like the massive non-compliance going around on our planet. And these are countries who've experienced oppression before and communism before, and they know. And Canada really is the last to get it, because we're just babes in the woods. We're so innocent. We thought, nothing authoritarian could ever happen here. This whole mandate that's going on with this and the passport, we're just at the beginning. Do you get that? Just like 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and just a couple more weeks, and they just keep moving the goalposts. This isn't going away. It's not. And with the non-compliance part of it, it's total say uncle. Like, they're going to keep moving the goalpost. The restaurants and concerts and sporting events is just the beginning. Just the beginning. I even heard in Vancouver that some of the outlets wouldn't let people vote. I don't know. I've not seen evidence of that, but someone said, oh yeah, there were signs and pictures taken. It'll absolutely carry on until the banking system crashes. They want the passport to attach the new cryptocurrency. The fiat currency, or money, is just an illusion. Like, all of the elites have gold, just the massive amounts of gold. The fiat is just printed currency, and that's going to end soon. And when it does, people who won't do this will literally be living off their gardens, other food. I don't know. It's a massive say uncle. And I say, sorry, but my uncle died fighting for the freedoms of this country. He died on Normandy Beach, July 30th, 1944. He was shot down. My dad was lucky enough to live, but I grew up in a home as the baby with a beautiful man that cared for his family and worked hard, and sometimes, ruled things with a tough fist. We saw firsthand just the trauma and shock that followed him all of his life after serving in the war. And so it's in me to fight. And it's in you too. You have to not give a fuck what people think. And if you have to downsize, move, change jobs, do with less, sell some things, then you'd better. I'm not going to elaborate on social media what my plans are, but they're pretty drastic. And so if you're in my inner circle, you'll know, and eventually you'll probably hear. But I'm making a lot of sacrifices. And so it's hard for me to be like, sometimes I get it. I get it with some people that are truly like, this is my job, and I might piss off clients, but we're going to lose everything. You're not going to have your job. You're going to have nothing and be happy. We're about to have so much taken from us that, I don't know. I don't know what you're hanging on to and afraid of, because this is it. This is just the last window. If we're locked down this fall, like winter, it's going to be tough. And people who won't comply, they have plans for to take to these internment camps. And I don't know if they're just going to do it really slowly, or if it's going to be such a fuss that actually people see that something really nefarious and evil is happening. But if you know what's going on, and even if you've been posting a bit, like, that's great, that's a start. You got to get louder. You got to get out. You've got to start talking to the people you work with. And you'd be surprised. You might actually discover people in that area that are also awake. Even people quite high up that you didn't think could be. You won't know. And yes, you may look like a loser and a conspiracy theorist. They can think all kinds of things, but if you truly know in your heart of hearts, there's just no time for that. There's no time for worrying, okay? So just love yourself. Give yourself compassion. Know yourself. Spend more time alone to know your truth. And you can also know that we don't know what we don't know. But we do know our gut and intuition when something feels off. And this is growing. And the more it grows and we pass that candle to one another, the more that you see someone come on to social media and go, wow, oh my God, like, I didn't know she's awake or he's awake. It's cool. It's just like, who said that now? She was going to run for president a couple years ago. Someone spiritual, but just the, when you light a candle, that you give permission to others to light that candle. Oh God, so here we go again, 18 minutes. It's never a short one with me. So I'm gonna fade out here now and have a beautiful day. I'll just leave one little message. I don't have any clips to insert at this time. And have a great day. Don't give two fucks what people think about you, okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The world's changing and we're going to make new systems. So you'll make new friends and everything may or may not work out. It's okay. It's our dash. Live it wisely. Live it good. P.S. I had to say one more thing. Okay, when I was talking about Jordan Peterson, I really recommend you check out his work. He's incredible. But he did a quick thing on zebras, about camouflage, and explaining that actually zebras, they stand out. They're not camouflaged. In fact, that's how a lion just sees a big juicy one. But they won't go for the zebra when they're in the great big crowd of people. They want the one that's a little different, standing out, limping, or with a tag. Some of them get tagged. But when they're all together, they blend in together, so they want to stick because then they feel safe. And I'm not articulating that as well as Jordan Peterson would, but it's about our need to feel safe into society. And so not really to dumb ourselves down, but just to zip and go with the status quo, to feel acceptance. And he talks to a lot of young people, and sometimes they're angry, and he's really calm, he's patient, and just waits it out. And he can see that when you're pushing a truth or narrative, but somehow it doesn't float all the way down to your toes, or some of it you believe in, but some does not make sense, but you're just, you know, told this is how it is. If you don't believe it, then you're going to be angry when you have to justify that or explain it to others. And so anyone that knows me, I can have a little sharpness to me, but I am kind and I don't seek to hurt. And the biggest wish I have, especially for youth right now, to anybody younger in schools, when it comes to kindness and no hurt feelings, good God, I want you to develop coping skills, because you are going to get hurt feelings. This is life. And I don't think it's the right thing to go around making up one law after another to silence everyone, because you can never, ever draw that line. But if you're strong and you know who you are, and you don't give two fucks what people think about you, and you say it's not my business what others think about me, I'm okay with me, then your feelings aren't going to get hurt. And the world carries on in its beautiful freedom, and we say what we say, and sometimes we say the wrong thing, but hopefully we'll learn from it and become a better person. Okay, so that's it now. I'm signing off. Have a great night.